spike to start the oscillation. This is not needed in the actual circuit. So this is the example problem you can solve. Given here, this is the summary of the phase shift oscillator using multisim. The combined parallel filters produce a band stop response with a center frequency equal to the desired frequency of oscillation. Oscillations cannot occur at frequency above or below FR because of the negative feedback through the filters. At resonant frequency, however, there is negligible negative feedback. Thus, the positive feedback through the voltage divider, that is R1 and R2, allows the circuit to oscillate. Next, we are going to see the LC oscillators. Although the RC feedback oscillators, particularly the Wien bridge, are generally suitable for frequency up to about 1 MHz, LC feedback elements are normally used in oscillators that require high frequency of oscillations. Also, because of the frequency limitation, that is lower unity gain frequency of most op-amp transistor, that is BJT or FET, which are often used as the gain element in the LC oscillators. This section introduces several types of resonant LC feedback oscillator like the Colpitts, Clapp, Hartley, Armstrong and crystal controlled oscillators. First we are going to see about the Colpitts oscillator. So on one basic type of resonant circuit feedback oscillator is the Colpitts oscillator. So in this type of oscillator we uses an LC circuit in the feedback loop to provide the necessary phase shift and to act as a resonant filter that passes only the desired frequency of oscillation. So the approximate frequency of oscillation in the resonant frequency of the LC circuit and is established by the values of C1 and C2 and L according to the formula resonant frequency FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root of L CT, where C is the total capacitance, because the capacitors effectively appear in series around the tank circuit, so the total capacitance CT will be given as C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So here the condition for oscillation and startup is attenuation beta of the resonant feedback circuit in the Colpitts oscillator is basically determined by the values C1 and C2. So here the figure shows that the circulating tank current, which is through both C1 and C2 effectively in series, the voltage developed across C2 is the oscillator's output voltage and the voltage developed across C1 is the feedback voltage as indicated. So a expression for the beta is C2 by C1. As you know, a condition for oscillation is beta into A must be equal to 1. Since beta equal to C2 by C1, so we can consider the gain as C1 by C2. For the oscillator to be self-starting, beta into A, that is the product of beta and A, must be greater than 1. Therefore, the voltage gain must be made slightly greater than C1 by C2. So this is the resonant frequency of a parallel resonant circuit, which depends on the Q value. It is resonant frequency is given as 1 by 2 pi root of LCT into square root of Q2 divided by Q2 plus 1. As a rule of thumb, for a Q greater than 10, the frequency is approximately equal to FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LCT into Q square divided by Q square plus 1 whole square root. When Q less than 10, however, resonant frequency is reduced significantly. So a FET can be used in place of a BJT to minimize the loading effect of the transistor input impedance. So recall that FET have much greater higher input impedance than the BJT. Also, when an external load is connected to the oscillator output, resonant frequency may decrease because of a Q reduced. This happens if the load resistance is too small. In some cases, one way to eliminate the effect of load resistance is by transformer coupling as indicated in the figure. Next, this is the example for the Colpit oscillator. You can solve by your own. Given here. Next, Clap oscillator. So Clap oscillator is a variation of Colpit oscillator. The basic difference is an additional capacitor C3 in series with the inductor in the resonant feedback circuit. Since C3 is in series with the C1 and C2 around the tank circuit, the total capacitance is given by CT equal to 1 divided by 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. So approximate frequency of oscillation for Q greater than 10 is given as resonant frequency FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LT. LC. This is the diagram of Clap oscillator. So which here the Clap provides a more accurate and stable frequency of oscillation. If C3 is much smaller than C1 and C2, then C3 almost entirely controls the resonant frequency. Next we are going to see about the Hartley oscillator, which is similar to the Colpit oscillator, except that the feedback circuit consists of two series inductor and a parallel capacitor as shown in the diagram. In this circuit, the frequency of oscillation is FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root of LC. So here LT represent both L1 and L2 in series. The inductors act in a role similar to C1 and C2 in the Colpit to determine the attenuation beta of the feedback circuit. So here we can define the beta value as ratio of L1 by L2. To assure startup oscillation, gain must be greater than 1 by beta, that is A equal to L2 by L1. So loading of the tank circuit has the same effect in the Hartley as in the Colpit, that is the Q is decreased and thus resonant frequency also decreases. Next we are going to see about the Armstrong oscillator. This is a type of LC oscillator which uses transformer coupling to feedback a portion of the output signal. The transformer used here will provide the feedback to keep the oscillation going. The Armstrong is less common than the Colpit, Clap and Hartley oscillator, mainly because of the disadvantage of transformer size and cost. The frequency of oscillation is set by the inductance of the primary winding in parallel with the C1. Next, crystal oscillator, crystal controlled oscillator. So the most stable and accurate type of feedback oscillator uses a piezoelectric crystal in the feedback loop to control the frequency. First we have to see what is piezoelectric effect. So quartz is one of the crystalline substance found in nature that exhibits a property called the piezoelectric effect. The piezoelectric effect is nothing but when a changing mechanical stress is applied across the crystal to cause it to vibrate, a voltage develops at the frequency of mechanical vibration. Conversely, when an AC voltage is applied across the crystal, it vibrates at the frequency of the applied voltage. So the greatest vibration occurs at the crystal's natural resonant frequency, which is determined by the physical dimension and by the way the crystal is cut. Crystals used in an electronic application typically consist of a quartz wafer. So here the typical packaged crystal basic construction of the quartz wafer symbol and its electrical equivalent circuit are represented here. As you can see, the crystal equivalent circuit is a serial parallel RLC circuit and can operate in either series resonant or parallel resonant. At the series resonant frequency, the inductive reactance is cancelled by the reactance of CS. The remaining series resistance determines the impedance of the crystal. Parallel resonance occurs when the inductive reactance and the reactance of the parallel capacitance are equal. So here the great advantage of the crystal is that it exhibits a very high Q. So an oscillator that uses a crystal as a series resonant tank circuit, the impedance of the crystal is minimum at the series resonant frequency, thus providing maximum feedback. The crystal tuning capacitor CC is used to fine tune the oscillator frequency. So a modified Colpit configuration is given here with a crystal acting as a parallel resonant tank circuit. The impedance of the crystal is maximum at parallel resonance, thus developing the maximum voltage across the capacitor. The voltage across C1 is back to the input. Next, relaxation oscillator, which is a major second type of major category of oscillator, is the relaxation oscillator. So relaxation oscillator uses an RC timing circuit and a device that changes states to generate a periodic waveform. So here you will learn about the several circuits that are used to produce non-sinusoidal waveform. That is, non-sinusoidal waveform means triangular wave, square wave and sawtooth. Thank you.